So days prior. So sige, ang last activity po, December 31. OVP sent relief assistance to the victims of
Representative
December
Manuel.
23 fire in Tagbilaran. Meaning, Mr. Speaker, 11 million pesos per day leading to December 31 ginamit para maging
Majority Leader.
successful to.
Point of
Mr. Speaker,
order.
baka mas malaki
suspended.
pa ang ginastos dito kaysa sa financial. Mas malaki pa ang ginastos sa pag-protect sa Vice President kaysa mismo mga assistance programs, Mr. Speaker. Short-change dito ang mamamayan. Hindi po ito katanggap-tanggap, Mr. Speaker. Kaya naman dapat talaga mawala na ang confidential funds ng OVP, Mr. Speaker. Niloloko ang mga beneficiaries, Mr. Speaker, ang mga victims, ang mga drivers, and PWD. Mr. Speaker, arguments to defend the confidential funds of OVP para po yung isda, naghihingalo, gasping for air. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the assumption of His Honor is inaccurate for the record, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, the OVP is in strict adherence to Republic Act 9184. And as to the practice of procurement through reimbursement, the Office of the Vice President has already stopped this practice and is now adhering to RA 9184. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, that is not consistent with what is really pointed out by COA. Mr. Speaker, ang sabi po ng COA, there was non-adherence to standard procurement procedures such as the conduct of competitive bidding or other accepted alternative modes of procurement. Mr. Speaker, malinaw po ang sinabi ng COA, hindi po sinunod ang RA 9184. Kaya Mr. Speaker, ang sabi din po ng ating sponsor, okay, sige, sa susunod po, tayo ay magiging faithful na sa RA 9184. Which means, Mr. Speaker, indirectly ina-admit na hindi talaga sinunod. Nagbadali po na itayo ang mga satellite offices, bumili ng mga property and equipment na hindi sinusunod ang batas. Mr. Speaker, concerned po tayo doon kasi second highest official po natin ang tingin po ay beyond or above po sa batas. Hindi po ito magandang modelo, Mr. Speaker, sa ating mga kabataan. So ano po ang komento doon ng ating sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, I think His Honor is referring to COA AOM. And for emphasis, the AOM or Audit Observation Memorandum issued by COA is part of audit process and its preliminary issuance to clarify certain matters and to require comments or submission of documentary and other information requirements. Again, it's preliminary and can be rectified by agency concerned. And the OVP has been strictly adhering to the comment of the COA's AOM. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, ang response po ng OVP sa AOM ng COA, and I quote, "Moving forward, all transactions pertaining to procurement of PPE o ang property and equipment and semi-expendable property for satellite offices will be processed following the guidelines under RA number 9184 accordingly." So Mr. Speaker, ibig sabihin, ang pinapangako na ay susunod sa batas after ma-point out ng COA. Pero Mr. Speaker, kung hindi pala ito na-point out, pwede pa na sa mga susunod pa after nung naging pagkakamali ng OVP, mangyari yun ulit, Mr. Speaker. Kaya hindi po pwedeng ganon. Dapat lahat po ng mga opisyal ng gobyerno, ang mga pinaghihirapan po nating batas dito, pinag-uusapan natin, pinagdedebatihan, kahit po ano pang outcome niyan, sundin po ng lahat ng mga opisyal at hindi po exemption, hindi po special ang Vice President, Mr. Speaker. Next topic, Mr. Speaker. Sige, ito na po, confidential funds. Simulan po muna natin ang proposal for 2024.
The Office of the Vice President, in its request and proposal for another confidential fund for calendar year 2024, is consistent with its reason in requesting the said fund since last year, which is to aim to use which aims to use the fund for the safe implementation of its programs and activities. And through its office, the OVP aims to bring its programs to other areas, and with a vision to target poverty reduction and threats to peace and order and achieve sustainable development. And in support of these goals, surveillance activities will be undertaken to assess security threats and ensure successful implementation of the project. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaker, from that long response, ang makuha po natin doon, hindi. Hindi po in line sa intent ng House ang proposal ng OVP na manghingi ng confidential fund for 2024. Kasi Mr. Speaker, ang mga binabanggit na programs, Medical and Burial Assistance Program, Food Assistance, Libreng Sakay, Magnegosyo Taday. Tingin ko, Mr. Speaker, wala naman dong directly related sa defense ng West Philippine Sea, Mr. Speaker. Kaya I think it would be prudent for the House to reject the proposal of the OVP for confidential fund, Mr. Speaker. Kasunod,
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, if I may interject, for the record, confidential fund is not only used for the West Philippine Sea. It is used for monitoring and surveillance of whatever programs of the Office of the Vice President. And to make a point, the Office of the Vice President is not just as spare tire of the President, but is part of the policy making body of the President, and with the desire of the Office of the Vice President to propose policies that are data-driven. Information from the ground are very vital, Mr. Speaker.
Sige, Mr. Speaker, mamaya babalikan natin yan kung sobrang justified ba talaga ang confidential fund ng OVP for its programs. Pero Mr. Speaker, malinaw at this point na it seems that our sponsor is diverging from the intent of the leaders of the House na wag na pong bigyan ng confidential fund ang mga ahensya, lalo na kung hindi naman related sa defense ng ating national sovereignty ang kanilang proposal para gamitin ang confidential fund, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
Now,
Speaker, if I may interject, this representation did not mention that we do not consider the issue in West Philippine Sea as an activity where confidential fund is used. But what I was saying is that it is not solely for the West Philippine Sea, and other use of confidential fund is not limited to West Philippine Sea, but also includes surveillance and monitoring that is affecting the national security of the country, Mr. Speaker.